Hi, and welcome to this edition of Fresh Hope for Mental Health. Our mission here at Fresh Hope for Mental Health is to empower you to live well in spite of your mental health challenge by sharing insights through interviews, practical tools for living well, encouragement, and courage for overcoming all from a Christian perspective. And now, here's your host, Pastor Brad Hoefs.
Hello, my friends, and welcome to this edition, which is a special edition of Fresh Hope for Mental Health. I'm Brad Hoefs, your host. Our purpose with Fresh Hope is to empower you to live a faith-filled, rich, and full life in spite of having a mental health diagnosis. Well, I just wanted to talk to you today as one of our podcast listeners. First of all, we are so grateful for you. And I think we've had close to 100,000 downloads of our Fresh Hope podcast. And trust me, we are ever so grateful for that and for you listening even to this podcast. We don't take that for granted. And we hear from our listeners. We love hearing from them. And you can always write me at pastorbrad@freshhope.us. I wanted to tell you that we do have a number of other podcasts that will be coming along soon. One will be for pastors, and we hope that if you're not a pastor, that you'll let your pastor know about Fresh Hope for Pastors, the podcast. And we've started a new ministry, part of Fresh Hope, in our Fresh Hope for Pastors, called Healing the Heart Wounds of Ministry. And it's a rather intensive kind of process-oriented retreat for pastors and their spouses, as well as ministry leaders and their spouses. And we'll have more information on that coming out here in the near future. You'll just want to keep an eye out for social media posts about it. Also, we have a Facebook page that's Fresh Hope for Pastors, and you might invite your pastor to like that. But we know that pastors have a lot of hurts and pains from doing ministry, because anytime you're involved with people, there's hurts and pains. And not that they have to be terrible hurts and pains, but if you don't process them, they build up, and life can be a little more difficult to deal with then, as well as we know that pastors need resiliency on those matters in order to stay in ministry and be effective. And so many pastors want to quit today. The statistics are alarming. It's nearly 50% by some accounts. So anyway, we've got that coming out. Our friend Pastor Samantha Cara in San Salvador, she will be starting a podcast soon too. And it'll be in Spanish, I believe, and potentially English. So I hope you'll check that out when those come out. Now, what I really want to encourage you on this little edition is to take a serious look at participating in our Thursday night, September 22nd celebration of hope. It is an annual, annually we've had galas for fundraising and letting people in on the vision and finding partners to partner with us in our ministry. But this year we're going to dial it down a little bit and make it for a bigger audience, we hope. And so we have Sandi Patty coming, as she'll be here in Omaha. We'll be broadcasting the event from one of our large dynamic churches here in Omaha, and she'll be our guest. She'll be singing, and plus there will be many inspirational stories that get told, and some information about the work of Fresh Hope. You'll be able to, if you don't live in the Omaha area, obviously most of you don't, you can watch this online. There will be a small minimal fee for it, but you can watch it online. Fresh Hope, I never really talk about this in the podcast, but it takes considerable resources to do what we're doing. We've got about 12 staff members in many different areas of the U.S., as well as a number of them in El Salvador, since they're bilingual, and we've really connected with some of them. But the reality is that I'm committed to not selling things. I don't want to sell hope. I want to give hope away. And, that's why the podcasts are free, videos are free, anything that we can do to offer hope to people without saying, in order to get this, you've got to pay this, or you got to give this a donation or whatever. And the reason is because many times those of us who are at our worst, it's about all we can do is to click on something to watch it, or, it's just, we don't many times have even the resources financially. And we're not a for-profit organization. We are a nonprofit ministry. And so just like the local church would be, we've got electrical bills to pay. We've got to pay for this and pay for that. And it's all been by the generosity of individual donors. For the most part, we've got one foundation that has been very supportive over the last number of years, the Kitchener Foundation. We're grateful for them. And yes, on September 22nd, it is a fundraising event, but it's more than that. It's a hope-raising event. What we want to do is encourage people and build people up. So I'd love for you to let us know, or keep an eye out for it. It's Sandi Patty on September 22nd. You'll see it in our social media. Tickets will be available, even the online tickets, to watch it online in your home or in your Fresh Hope group. You could do that too. And we do have a few churches that are going to be having watch parties at their churches. And so that'll be fun too. They'll actually be part of the live broadcasts that we put out online. And if for some reason you are not able to afford the small fee for watching it at home, which I totally get, I want you to email me, Pastor Brad at freshhope.us, and we will see if we can't get some scholarship money together and provide you the opportunity to watch it if you can't afford to purchase the ticket to view it. So one last thing that I want to tell you about. We have coming up in February of 2023, we will be putting on and hosting and sponsoring the first ever Voices of Hope conference that will be for people who have lived experience with mental health, in other words, peers, for other people who have mental health challenges. It will be a peer-to-peer conference. So often mental health conferences are basically, led by, or main speakers are doctors and experts in the field and those who love people. And every now and then they have somebody who had a mental health challenge. All of our folks will be people who have a mental health diagnosis and are living well or are learning to live well, and they're going to be giving practical insights about living well and what they found out. And it'll be for those who are loved ones also, letting other loved ones know. It's going to be fantastic. Again, we're calling it Voices of Hope. Now, you might be interested in being a speaker or leading one of the workshops. It'll all be virtual. It'll be on February 11th, 2023. Our presenters will be able to make videos and to give their presentations that way. I There may be parts of it that are live. I'm not even sure yet. But if you might be interested in that, I'd like to encourage you to email my assistant. Her name is Maria at freshhope.us. She happens to be in El Salvador, and she's bilingual. You could speak to her in Spanish or English, and she will get you on the docket and talk with you about the potential of you becoming a presenter also. So don't forget, September 22nd, Thursday night, September 22nd, with Sandi Patty. And I think we've got some treats and some surprises planned for this. And I got to tell you, Sandi Patty's the real deal. I'm looking forward to her being with us. So listen, my friends, I thank you for listening today. And, please share these things on social media with your folks. And if we can ever be of help to you in any way, just email us, Pastor Brad at freshhope.us. And if you have any suggestions for topics or people to interview or anything like that, please let me know. Okay? Hey, God bless you. And until the next time we meet, may the Lord fill you with His hope, fresh and new daily. I'm Brad Hoefs, and this has been another edition of Fresh Hope for Mental Health.
You've been listening to Fresh Hope for Mental Health. If you have an opportunity, please review, share, and subscribe to the Fresh Hope for Mental Health podcast on iTunes or on the service that you use. We encourage you to share our podcast on social media with your friends and family. Previous podcasts of Fresh Hope for Mental Health can be found at freshhopeformentalhealth.com, iHeartRadio, Stitcher Radio, and iTunes. Fresh Hope is one of the leading networks of faith-based peer support groups internationally. For more information about Fresh Hope, go to freshhope.us.